Hello.
What is it with me and giggling whenever I see you?
Well, because both of us just sit there and wait, are you going to say something? Are you going to say something? Who's going to go first?
I think too, it's like, again, because we live so far away from each other, I'm always happy to see you. I
Yes,
feel like it's just like, ah, somebody gets me.
I know. I get it. I get you. I got you. All right. I'm getting right into it because let me tell you something. We have a short period of time to do this. Someone over there is drinking a Bloody Mary, and someone over here is drinking a Bev wine. It sounds like such a commercial. You guys were not even monetized. But it really is about the things that we love. Let me tell you about
But
this.
at the same time, too, yeah, we do have short window time because we'll be drunk.
That's the concern. That's what I'm saying. It won't take more than 2 or 3 sips before we're wasted and we're not going to know what the hell we're saying.
And
that's all bad. But this is a white, I do have to say, because I love me this. This is a white wine that has no preservatives or sugar or anything except fermentation. Mm-hmm. So I can drink it and not get sick. Also, a Bloody Mary, come now. It's
vodka.
Yeah.
But it's Tito's vodka, and I'm learning that I am having to change a lot of things in my diet lately to accommodate just everyday function. So for me, yeah, I've taken out dairy, but Tito's, this is with Tito's vodka for me. So
yeah. Tito's vodka is another one. So it's made in the
potato vodka.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's made from potatoes. It's not a grain. So it's really friendly for people like that. It's also, I don't know that it's organic. I don't think it is organic, but it's minimally it's processed with minimal garbage. Mm-hmm. And it's a very well-known secret amongst, certain drinkers that it prevents a lot of the after garbage that you get from, booze that's been, how do I put it? Like the junk food of booze.
Oh, really? I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I just thought it was for like celiac and people that need to be gluten-free.
Yeah, that's true too. But it won't, a lot of people won't suffer from hangovers and things like that because it is a more cleaner drink. And any white liquor anyway. But Tito's specifically. And then
really?
Yeah, that's really true.
I had no idea.
My brother told me that.
Oh.
And he knows all about that stuff. And
right. So if I can drink more because I won't have a hangover then?
Yeah, okay. That's where I was going with it. Okay. And then also the tomato juice, of course, has, the Bloody Mary mix has minimal calories. Oh, I forgot to hit the do not disturb bar. Has minimal calories and also has a ton of vitamins because it's beta carotene and all kinds.
That's the reason why I love Bloody Marys.
Yeah, you're like basically drinking a health drink. You know
what I'm saying? Am I? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're totally healthy right now. You're totally healthy. All right, but that's not what we came here to talk about. We came here. Go ahead.
What is this, episode 5?
This is episode 5 of Indelibly Imperfect.
I'm Christel King.
Oh, are we doing that? I'm Heather Bruce.
Just in case.
Just in case.
We forget later on. Okay, I'm feeling the effects of alcohol already.
I told you, we have to be fast. Okay, so episode 5 is called Cleaning Out the Closet. We're cleaning out our closets. Okay?
And we're literally, not figuratively, literally.
Literally. We're cleaning out the closets, right? This is a really important subject, especially for women our age. And we've talked about this before in terms of how our body is changing and how things change. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, how our style has changed. But also it's important for women of all ages, because whether you are in your 20s or 30s, things change, your needs change, and it's time to take a look at what serves you and what doesn't. right? And that's so
Mhm.
overused, so cliche, but we're going to get into what that means as we go forward into the episode and what our personal experience has been about. Yes? Anything you want to
Yes.
add on this, Miss Christel?
Like, no,
Nope.
you said it
Crickets.
on the
Okay.
nose.
Okay.
So
So
our closets
yes,
carry so many versions of ourselves through the years, especially at our age. So I'm like, all right, I've got 2 closets and maybe a room that is
oh
being
my God.
converted into a closet.
I have maybe 2 closets and perhaps a room. No, that's you, not me. I have
Yeah,
a really
that's
big ass
I
closet.
said that it was me.
Yeah, no, I have a big ass closet.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna play around here.
Yeah, mine's not that big. And plus
No.
I put that's my little lady lair too,
Yeah.
because I have like my makeup little thing and where I do my girly stuff that I just now started doing maybe in the last year and a half.
Right.
But then I have another room that has a rack of clothes, and then I have the downstairs rooms that has a rack of clothes and a couple of dressers.
Right.
So I really need to condense it down. But what we were talking about, and because Heather and I went through this not too long ago, we were talking about how we needed to clean out our closets. And wow, there might possibly be a floor underneath all of
Oh
that
my
stuff.
God, I know, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I know.
But and what we were talking about is there's so many versions of ourselves in that closet. And a lot of them don't serve us anymore.
Most of it doesn't. And if you're honest with that, and we're going to talk about what that, again, I keep saying, we're going to talk about that. I'm sorry, I cut you off, though.
No, you're feeding right into the conversation. So let's start with the first version, or the first type of clothes that we have in our closet, the sentimental.
Yeah.
The sentimental ones. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
That was when that's when I met my husband. I wore that outfit.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
that's my lucky outfit. Is
Oh my God, the lucky outfit.
that right?
Yes.
That doesn't fit you anymore, but that
No.
was my lucky outfit.
And by the way, no one's ever going to wear it either because it's from like 1990.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or
it's coming back.
30 pounds ago.
Oh, 30 pounds ago, and it's coming back. It'll come back. I know it'll come back. I don't want to get rid of it, but the 30 pounds ago is a big deal.
Yeah.
And right.
Mm-hmm. That's also the someday.
Yeah, that's the someday clothes. Someday
Yeah.
I'm going to get back into that. Someday I'm going to get back into that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that someday, if you do get back into that, like, really, are you even going to like yourself in it? I mean, because
is it even going to be in style?
No, of course
Right?
it's not. Of course it's not.
Mm-mm.
Of course it's not. And the other thing is our body shifts as well. So 30 pounds right? Like if I lose 30 pounds, it's not going to be the same body I had in my 20s. I can tell you right now, since I'm turning into a little pot-belly Buddha as I get older. So whatever worked on me 20, 30 years ago, even if I lose the 20, 30 pounds, it's not going to work. Let's be real.
Mhm.
It's not. But that's what we have. And and we have the donated. So like, that's my big thing, is the donated.
Because what is the donate pile to you?
The donated pile are beautiful things that I may or may not have ever worn or bought myself, but they were certainly probably expensive. Maybe they weren't, but I don't know if I could ever afford anything like that and have that nice. So I have to keep it and I have to wear it.
And who, like, donated pile means these were gifts, or
okay,
these were friends that gave you stuff?
You're right. Okay. So you're right. There's 2. So let's talk about the stuff that I was given by friends that couldn't part with it themselves. And so they're like, well, I'll just give it to Heather. So yes, I have that as well. And so if I get rid of it, I'm A, ungrateful. B, I would never have the luxury of being able to buy that myself.
Because it's a name brand.
And I should be so lucky to have that. So regardless of what it really looks like on me or whether it's my style, it's like taking the size 8 foot and sticking it in the 7, because God damn it, I'm going to wear this shoe.
Oh God. Yeah.
Right.
God damn
So,
it. Right.
God
It's like,
damn
oh,
it.
this is an $800 shoe. I
Yes.
should keep it.
Yes, 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 yes. I can't walk. I'm broken.
It doesn't go with anything that I own,
No,
but
right, 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 right. Okay, so there's that. And it's you, and I would say, so I would say that this is other people's version of you, but it's not. It's versions of themselves that they can't give up, so they pass it along.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, instead of just kind of getting rid of it randomly. I've done it. You've done it. I've done it to other people. I'm like, this is something that I can't use, or for whatever reason, I don't know why I'm getting rid of it, but I can't really get rid of it. I can't bring myself to just get rid of it. So I'm going to have to like pass it on. I do it to my poor girls. They're like loaded with the same crap. By the way, they need to go through their closet because of this. So the other one though is the gifting. And that is such a loaded one, because when someone gives you a gift of clothing or shoes or accessories, it's usually not a version of you. It's usually not you. It's a version of you that they have in their mind. Okay. So what
That's not necessarily bad, but
no, but it doesn't always reflect you.
Mhm.
So, right. So when someone gives you a gift, it's their version of you. And sometimes it's right. Sometimes it's dead on. But in many cases, it's not. And we are going to hang on to it for a couple reasons. One, it's rude not to. Somebody went out of their way to be time, to take their time and to buy something to do, right? Two, it goes back to, again, oh my God, I can't afford that on my own. And,
This must have been really expensive.
Yes. And even if it isn't, it's kind of like the, I'm the kind of person, I'll hold on to kitchen chairs and tables too, by the way. And my husband's like, why can't we get rid of this kitchen table? I'm like, because what if there's a flood? And he's like, I'm like, and what if there's a flood and we need kitchen tables? Do you know how expensive kitchen tables are? And so like he doesn't, and it makes the dumbest, I know, I'm saying it out loud. You can hear how stupid that is. But it's true. That's why we hang on to stuff like that, right? And so what ifs, I should do this. What if there's a fire and I need another kitchen table? What if I never get another sweater? What if it gets cold outside? What if? So it may not be something I totally love, but I'm certainly not going to look a gift horse in the mouth and, be so frivolous as to just get rid of it. I could probably use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But do you? Right?
Right.
Or is it just taking up space in your closet? Or are you wearing it, but you really don't really like it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? But
It's in.
Yeah. It's in.
Right? It's in. I have to have one thing that's in.
It's in.
It still doesn't serve you. Like it doesn't flatter your body.
Mm-mm.
Or the color doesn't compliment you, but everyone's wearing it.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially if you're in the economy, we all don't have like a ton of money to go out and buy stuff. Mm-hmm. So anything you get is, a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back. So these are the versions of you, right? Mm-hmm. So we have the donated items, which are usually from somebody's, their own versions of themselves that they can't give up yet. Mm-hmm. The gifts, which are usually someone else's version of you, not all the time, but sometimes. The someday of, yes, I know for sure I'm going to wear that someday when I lose 30 pounds. When I, lose 50 pounds, whatever it is you think you want to lose. The, what was the other one?
Sentimental.
The sentimental, but
yes,
when, I did this and, my lucky outfit, my this, my that, right?
Like I have a couple of pieces in there, or actually more than enough of stuff that when I lived in London, So I have things that are 35 years old
Right.
still in my closet because I can't part it because it reminds me of living in London when I was a college girl and college student. I've got a few things like from my grandmother. I have a couple of pieces from my sister, and I feel like letting go of those, lets go of the memory.
Mhm.
And that's not necessarily the case. What I'm learning is you will always have those memories, you will always have those feelings. And so it's okay to not have them per se in your closet, because it honestly, the flip side is A, they're never going to fit.
Right.
B, it's it's symbolism. It doesn't necessarily mean you can still hang on to memories, you can hang on to pictures. You can take a picture of yourself in it and then donate it so
Right.
that you have that image of yourself in that jacket and remember that feeling. The picture can trigger that for you. But that doesn't diminish their impact or their memory because you gave away that outfit.
Right. Right. And so here's something else too, to do as well. My grandmother wore these wool skirts in the winter time, and she made them herself, just typical, skirts. They were just straight pencil skirts, but they were wool and they were plaid, and they were reminded me of her every time I saw them, right? Because it was Christmas and all this stuff, and she looked adorable in them. She wore them with sweaters, very preppy. Well, when she passed, my grandfather gave me two of these skirts. Now, remember, she wore them all the time. So the the elastic is out. I mean, it's certainly not something I'm going to be able to wear. I don't care, right? Like, I've got these skirts, this, that, and the next thing. So my mother-in-law said to me, she goes, why don't you she goes, instead of having these skirts just in your closet or in a box or a drawer, why don't you make them functional? She's like, I can take these and turn these into throw pillows.
Oh,
right.
So
And
an
she did.
upcycle.
Yes. Yes. So she turned my grandma's skirts into throw pillows, and I keep them on the piano bench, because she always played the piano.
That's a beautiful idea.
Right. And so it's on my piano bench, and it's in full view all the time. And my kids play the piano or whatever, and she's always a part of it. So, right. And you can do that with anything: dresses, shirts, scarves, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that.
So, yeah, I know, right? Like, that's a great thing. So, and then that takes it out of the part where it's not useful, right? So it's functional and the whole bit. So what do we say then about, because if it's okay, I'd like to share my story and then you share yours. Okay, just because we're drinking now and we're like we don't really care about format. Okay. So I went through my closet. Everybody's on that big bandwagon, right? Feel it, touch it. Does it serve you? Does it make you happy? Does it bring you anything, gratification? Blah, 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 blah.
What is her name? Marie Kondo. Okay.
Yes. Everybody's doing that, right? Everybody's doing that, right? And so I never really did. I wasn't into that. However, I had a moment, and we're going to go into that a little bit deeper, where I ordered this service called Wantable, where you pay $20 for them to style you. They send you 7 things that they think would look good on you based on your statistics and your pictures and this, that, next thing. And which I did not think was going to work out for me. They sent it, I fell in love, blah, 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 blah. When I got this box and I tried these clothes on and went, number one, it looks good on me, because I never know it's going to look good on me. Christel knows it's going to look good on me. I don't know. Because I'm still stuck in a time period, whether, and we'll talk about that again, my 20s or when I'm 30, even then I was struggling with what to wear, because I don't know my body.
You were hiding because you were
Pardon?
hiding.
Yes,
You were
I was hiding. I was hiding, absolutely hiding. So these things came in, I loved everything. And what I found was I was wearing them over and over and over and over because they were versatile, because they fit my style, because they fit my body. They were comfortable as well. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I went through my closet and it was so much easier to get rid of things because I wasn't hanging on to things for the what if. Okay.
Really?
Yes. Well, but what if I don't have another shirt? What if I get into this again? What if this comes back in style? What if I have to go somewhere? What if? Oh, there is no what ifs. Here's my wardrobe. I know this fits. I know how to put it together. I know everything works. The color schemes are working, you know. And so I was able to really start to purge. And I did the whole thing. Does it serve me? So it's not just about stuff that doesn't fit, because I would get rid of stuff, you know, that didn't fit maybe, but I'd hang on to something that fit me, even though I've never worn it.
Okay. And why would you do that though? I mean, what was the hanging on? Was that the name brand? Was it fit you? You bought it on sale?
It was the fact that it fit me, and I never knew, you know, I can't be frivolous. It fits.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to like it. It fits. I even had stuff that was like frayed and, you know, like disgusting, but it still fits. And you know, I can't just get rid of clothes to get rid of clothes. I may need clothes. I may need them.
Mm-hmm.
I can use them for something, because it would be frivolous and to not. And the other stuff I was hanging on to were the other people's versions of me.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. Like, for example, this several clothes I got rid of for the first time in my life that I actually wore every day for like the last 10 years. I wore them, but I hated them.
And why did you hate them?
They didn't really reflect me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but they were functional.
But they were clothes.
They were clothes and they were functional.
Were clothes and they fit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And again, I don't have the luxury of buying new stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I spend all my money on everybody else's clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll make this work. I'll buy whatever it is that's on sale. I'm going to buy whatever, not because I like it, but because it was on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Not because
it's on sale and it's my size.
Exactly. So you're going, you don't go like the front of the store when they have it all put together for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't do that. We go into the back.
Yeah.
That's for wealthy girls. That's for people that have money and stuff. That's frivolous.
A disposable income. But even, and I don't think it was even a disposable income, is that we just had this thought that for some reason, I don't know where it came from, that all our money went to our kids, and it just felt weird to spend money on ourselves. And it's not necessarily an income thing. I know a lot of women do that and feel that.
I think you're right. But we were doing that even when we were younger. When did you ever buy anything that wasn't on sale?
That's true, because I needed drinking money. Right? We needed going out money.
Yeah.
We needed
rent money.
And
we
rent
needed money for books. We needed food, even though it was minimal. But we could get away with it back then. You could put anything on back then and it would work. Even like it's the same thing with makeup and hair. My girls are, you know, 12 and 19. Anything works on them. You know, they can stand and take a picture and smile.
To a certain degree.
Right. I
think that's the thing too, is what I think we start that back then. Maybe it isn't just being motherhood or stuck. I think sometimes we're just looking at the deal.
Oh God, we're all about the deal. How excited do you know it? Do you know how many times
of it?
Yes, it's the hunt. You know, really, my husband, you know, without giving it all away, I mean, hunting is still legal. You know, he loves to go deer hunting. And yes, if he gets a deer, he eats the deer. I do not, because I am I have issues, which isn't right either. But everybody in the house eats the deer but me. But anyway, but it's a hunting thing, and it's like that with us. He can't. I remember. Do you remember this? Because I do. You and I and our friend Wendy went out to like on a 4-day shopping spree.
We did?
Yes, we hit the rack. We hit.
I swear to God, I don't remember this shit. Okay. Well, tell me about what we did.
Okay. Yeah, I totally don't. We hit like all the off, whatever the off stores are. Like, I think there was it was Nordstrom's, right? The rack. And then there was, I want to say, I don't know if it was a Bloomingdale's or a Saks or something. We were hitting all these places. We were in Long Beach doing it. And then we even went into, I think it was South Coast Plaza, where we were like, this went on for like 2 or 3 days. And we bought so much stuff, but we took everything back.
I don't think that was me.
Yes, that was you. You know why? No. You know how I know it was you? Because you were pregnant and we had cell phones. And I remember us being like, especially in Nordstrom, like the rack, where we're like, all right, we're going to do this. We'll meet here, and because there was a pair, I have it to this day. I have a pair of shoes that I still wear. And I only found the one shoe. And I showed you the shoe and you're like, all right, let's go. And so we went in and we dug and dug and dug and dug and dug all over the place. And you found the other shoe. And that's why I have it.
Okay. Now I kind of vaguely remember this. All right.
Okay.
What did I buy? I don't remember anything that I bought.
Probably not, because you were pregnant.
Oh yeah, I probably didn't buy anything because I was pregnant.
Yeah. I don't think you did. But no, you had to. There was a couple, unless it was another time, because there were some things you bought too, and then we took it back because we found better deals.
Okay. That sounds like me.
Yes. So we had them, and then it was like, oh, and then we would go out again shopping, and it was like, oh, that's a way better deal. Get that, take this thing back. Right? And then so do you remember that now? Vaguely.
Like it sounds a little bit familiar. But guys, you guys, I have a memory. I don't know if that's COVID or what, because things have just been wiped. Like my memory card has been wiped clean.
Yeah. Well, I did the same thing. I don't know why. But anyway, long story short, we always were bargain hunting. And as soon as somebody says to you, oh my God, that's so cute. Where did you get it? I just did it to you. I'm like, look at my cool ring. God. Or no, you're like, I was like, guess how much I paid for it.
I think somewhere along the line, because of motherhood or adulthood, college became one of those survival skills, because things take precedence, like mortgage,
yes,
car payment, insurance. My internet is unstable, it says. But then it took a whole new meaning because we were trying to get along, I think that goes back to that other conversation we had the other day with, what was it, episode 4, where we were talking about self-care and self-nurturing. It became more of self-care than a nurturing type deal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you need clothes.
You need clothes. God forbid you walk around naked. But you know what I mean? And this was on sale.
Frowned upon, I'm just saying.
Nobody needs to see this naked.
I know exactly how you feel.
I'm all like, nobody needs to see these stretch marks or this.
Yeah. And then there's, I actually had clothes too that I was buying, again, because they fit, because when I got pregnant and I gained hundreds of pounds, and then I worked so hard to get the weight off. And it was like, oh my God, these fit. I'm going to buy this. And to be honest, it didn't flatter me in the least, but it was like, oh my gosh, this fits again. this size fits me, I'm going to buy it, that kind of a
The
thing.
size fits me. Oh, it's on sale and the size fits, and it's in my size.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's flatters your body, or that it will do anything but the fact that it is your size.
Exactly. That's it. And again, it's like, well, it's like 30% off, sometimes 50% off, because it's in a funky color, because anyone in their right mind didn't buy it.
Wouldn't buy it.
And now,
or I think I can live with this pair of shoes, even though it's a half size smaller.
Yeah, or big. Do you know how many times I bought shoes that are too big, and then now as you get older, there's just no way. Like, your arch isn't, and you're like sliding all over the place. You're like making it work. But again, like you said, that was the only size they had, and it was on sale. So you're like, I can make that work. And in the end,
you never wore it because you're miserable.
No, you were miserable. So that bargain,
it really was a bargain.
It wasn't. The bubblegum pink blazer, the white
purple, but it was a designer.
Exactly. So it was a waste of money, because you could never find anything to make it work with.
And or I can wear this when I go somewhere. So it's like, but those occasions never come. So, because you're too tired and.
Yes. And then you got to find something that works with it. And so the wantables for me took all that. I mean, you like, for real, there's no guesswork. This is the cardigan. Like they sent me out in the first box. Here's your cardigan. Here's this really cute, like, shell, drop, hickey doodle, darling. Okay. In the same color scheme. The, pants, are the button ups, and they are black. And then there's a, there was I can't even remember now. I'm losing it. But what I'm trying to say is that I wear it with everything. I haven't not worn this stuff. And the same thing with the athletics. So I gotta, they're styling me athletically as well. It all mix and matches. I'm actually saving money, because I'm not buying these random pieces. Everything is working, and I'm wearing it. So it's very
together and it's coordinated.
Yes, it was put together. It was coordinated. So I was able to go in my closet and go, you know what? I never liked you anyway. How about that? Boom. Up yours.
Just like that. That's how you did it.
That's how I did it.
I can just see you. And another thing. And your whole family's like, who's she talking to? Who the hell is in their closet?
You were never flattering to me.
You didn't treat me well at all.
And I let you stay. You're gone. In a box to the left. So.
Peter, what's your background?
And the same thing with the shoes. Now, I don't have anything to do with wantables like that or anything like that, but I generally don't have too many problems with figuring out what kind of shoes work on me.
I was surprised when I came out to Pennsylvania. I was surprised when remember, because I'm opening up my suitcases for the shoot and everything. And then, and your girls and you start coming out with all these shoes and boots and everything. And I'm all like, spicy.
Yeah. All business up top, but on the bottom on the shoes.
Just like
party town.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of the shoe thing. And I love to mix up colors and shoes and styles and things like that. So that's not for me, but that's me, right? Like that's okay. But the clothing, that's a whole other animal. So for me, that works.
Shoe sizes usually don't change on you. You know what I mean?
No, but some people
shoes are a constant. You know your shoe style, your blah, blah, blah. clothing is a whole different animal because of, okay, hello, my period. So
Yeah.
boobs are out to here, or I'm bloated. I ate cheese. I had dairy. And it's like, you're wearing the next size up or down. You know what I mean? It's just whatever was going on with your body.
Let's talk about that. How about I have like literally I have big girl clothes, and I have the clothes that I'd like to be in and I toggle back and forth, by the way. Like you said, if I had dairy the night before, I'm in big girl pants tomorrow.
Mhm.
If I've been, eating things and that does suck about getting older. If there's a lot of things that stinks. There's a lot of great things about getting older. Okay. A lot.
Mhm.
But it does suck that we don't have the digestive system that we used to have. It does. I'm
It does.
sorry.
I mean, it's sad, but it's true.
It's true. I can't eat the things that I would like to eat. And when I do, I'm a water buffalo for 5 days.
Oh, yeah, you can't be so carefree and not give a second thought. It does take some planning. And it
It
does
really
mean a
does.
lot of, it's like, okay, do I really want this moment on my lips for 3 days of misery or 5 days of misery?
Right. Right. And you can tell yourself anything you want. And I have, I'm like, oh my God, it was totally worth it. This is so delicious, blah, 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 blah. And it's true for 5 minutes. And then, like for me, honestly, but then I suffer all week long walking around like I'm 10 months pregnant. It's ridiculous, really. It's enough. And that's another subject, again, another topic. Like we can talk about probiotics and things like that. We're not going to do it now. But it is a reflection. So you do need some alternate pieces, right? So you're not always going to be able to wear the bodycon skirt.
Yeah.
At least without, a tunic and a sweater on top. So
layers.
So for me, that worked for me. I was able to really, and I learned so much about myself cleaning out the closet. I learned, like you said, how much I've changed.
Wow.
And how I'm taking myself seriously again, in the sense that I'm owning it. I'm owning who I am as a human being. I'm owning who I am personality wise. And I'm not afraid of that.
That self-expression anymore.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. That was a big thing for me. And how much, whether someone else likes it or they don't like it, that doesn't bother me at all. Remember how okay, that's big.
That's
How
huge.
does it look? How does it look? How does it look?
Sure, this is, yeah.
Yeah. We still need to,
Yeah.
Okay. But you may love something, but as soon as somebody says to you, I don't really like it, what do you do with it? It's off. Not now. You don't like it? Well, you're entitled. That's okay. As long as it doesn't make me look like a circus animal, I'm wearing it. Okay, but wait, do I look like a clown in a tent? Well, no, I just don't like it. All right. To the left. To the left.
So then I would come in and go like, hey, can we just nip and tuck it right here so that we can emphasize it more? Can we accessorize it so it does this?
Yes.
So it works better.
Yes. That's different than somebody saying, But yeah, so I found, I learned a lot about myself cleaning out my closet.
That's fantastic.
All right. Now, what about you? Tell me about you.
Okay. For me, I think the first thing that changed for me was the appropriate bra size.
Oh my God.
Because all of a sudden, and I got to thank my friend Christel, who owns Lucy's Boudoir. And she wasn't even my friend at the time. And that's another story. But I went in and I got a proper measurement. So I thought for the longest time, I thought it was a 38C. And that was the first thing I wanted off. Sometimes even in the car, I would take it off on my way home from work, just because it was just like, ugh. And I just, okay, after you have kids or just like even aging, they're just not perky like they used to be.
Oh my God. Were yours perky at one point? You had perky boobs?
I did. I passed, the pencil test didn't have anything on me. I was all like, I don't understand this. Yeah. I would be all like, what do you mean you can hold like a pencil under your breast? I didn't even understand what that meant until, after breastfeeding.
Oh my God. I never passed the pencil test. I didn't pass the pencil test it. I think maybe when I was a toddler, maybe, but and certainly never, not even when I started to develop. I went from flat to a B overnight. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So once I had a proper fitting, and I went from thinking I was a 38C to, I think, a 34 triple D. All of a sudden there's like two separate zones instead of one ginormous zone. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, look at these things, they're power. But anyways, I think that was the first thing. I started to like notice that, hey, maybe I'm not as big as I thought I was. No, but I was. But it just changed me proportionally. And then I was able to find pieces that worked for my body. Because before I thought, okay, well, this is one ginormous zone. I'm going to wear a muumuu, or I'm going to wear a tunic. I'm going to wear something really blousy. And the fact that I'm short to begin with, I'm 5'1" on a good day. And then to, have this big top and middle section, I felt, and I probably looked like a Oompa Loompa. That's how I felt. I would avoid mirrors. I would avoid window reflections. And if I was walking by that, I looked straight ahead, just because I didn't want the aggravation and to feel down about myself. I had other values and qualities that I knew I was great for, knew that I was well known for, and I wanted to focus on that and not bring myself down.
Right.
But eventually you have to return to that, You got to address those things that you are most fearful of, or that are like open wounds for you. You've just got to be at peace with it. So I think having that bra fitting just changed things. And what's amazing too is that it got rid of the bra fat, the back fat. It was crazy once something fits you correctly.
Right.
So, and then it was like, okay, so now I have a lot of bras, but proper fitting bras. And so like I started to enjoy like, having that little, I don't know, I want to say sexiness about it, but that girliness of it, of having something pretty for myself.
Yes, because there's no pretty bras for girls that are,
big boobs.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I'm medium size. I am big for my height for sure. So I have to find ways.
Can I give you a secret? Can I tell you something? You're big. Just because you're not as big as me, doesn't mean you're not big.
So, but yeah, and then it became like, okay, now that I have this, I've been able to look at my body differently or change the perception because someone showed me it wasn't just me. I was just ill-fitting. The things I was wearing weren't working for my body, weren't the proper size for my body. Then I started to look at things that are, what else isn't properly sized for my body?
Right.
And isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I went from what I thought I was like a size 14 or 16 to being a size 8.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because I just thought that's the way I had to dress my body. You know what I mean? Because it was one size, you know what I mean? So that's what changed for me. And then it was looking at things that were, okay, like you said, you wore it just to wear it because it got you through. It wasn't horrible, but it also didn't do anything for me.
No, that's right. I have to jump in on the bra thing because I too, so when you went and had your bra fitting and everything, and it had like, parted the Red Sea and the sun came down shining, whoa, and you texted me and you're like, oh my God, you have to get a bra fitting, blah, 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 blah. Now, mind you, how long did it take me to finally go? Like maybe 2 years, something, but I remember getting the text. So I know what people are thinking when they're watching this. I was like, okay, my bra's going to change my life. Okay, love you, Baba. Drive.
What the fuck is she talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck is she on now? What's she doing?
Mm-hmm.
So it was maybe 2 years later, and my mother-in-law came over, and she's like, hey, there's this boutique that is up in, it was in the newspaper, blah, 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 blah. I think we should get Sydney some bras because Sid is, my daughter is endowed as well. And I was like, let me check it out first because, she's a child, she's in her teens. Mm-hmm. So I went in and by the way, this is, so talk about the shout outs. This is the Lavana Boutique in Wexford. Mm-hmm. So, and Judy and Andrea are up there. Mm-hmm. Totally changed my life. I walk in the door and Andrea looks at me and she's like, you're a 34L. I swear to God. Mind you, I've been wearing a 38 triple D. And I go, no, I'm a, which is big for me, by the way. I cannot get rid of these girls. But I told her, I said, no, I'm a 38 triple D or whatever. And she goes, who told you that? And I told her about the company that I was wearing. Mm-hmm. And she said, that's because that's the biggest bra they have. She said, but that's not your size. And so she said, again, you're 34L. And I laughed and I said, I was a 34 before I had kids. Mm-hmm. And then I thought about it. No, I wasn't a 34 before I had kids. I was probably like a 28 or something, but nobody sells 28s, mm-hmm. With these big gazungas. So puts this bra on me. I was like, they make L's. And just like you said, I went from uniboob to two breasts that now support beautiful chains like you have on right now. Mm-hmm. That I'm in the same thing where it's like everything was gross, right? Because there was just boob. It was just boob. Mm-hmm. And everything went nicely. I was and gorgeous, by the way, like beautiful bras that the little girls could wear, the smaller girls.
And they were supported. Your shoulders didn't hurt. Your back didn't hurt.
Oh my God.
Stood up. I mean, like, did you notice your posture change?
Yes. Yes. And the migraines,
yes.
The migraines, I was seeing a migraine specialist and, which I still have, by the way, he's helpful, but mm-hmm. Knock on wood, since I got a bra that is held up with the bra and not the straps, I don't have the shoulder pressure and pain. Right. I had indentations on my shoulders from the bras.
So that's another thing too, is I used to go to a chiropractor probably once or twice a month for my shoulders and my back. And a lot of it is stress and tension and everything. But it was also the weight of my boobs from ill-fitting bras.
Of course.
Because the band wasn't supporting a portion, like distributing the weight. So, once I started going, I've gone to the chiropractor maybe once since then. Well, and there's other factors too, like Pilates and getting massages and stuff. But I do attribute a proper bra fitting correctly and distributing the weight correctly for less time at the chiropractor.
Absolutely. There is no doubt about it. And my fitness improved because I was able to jump around and move, because whatever you think you're not, mm-hmm. you are compensating. Even cleaning the house. Mm-hmm. If you think it's not affecting you, you're full of it. I'm sorry, but there is something when things are gyrating all over the place, and you know what I mean? And you mm-hmm. can't, you're compensating. You're constantly moving and compensating in a way that you can do things, because these These guys are
Yes.
all over the place.
Well,
So-
yeah, and your center balance like is
Yes.
completely like
Yes.
changed. It was so
Yes.
weird, right?
It's crazy. And so when I wish I would have listened to you 2 years prior, and you even said that you're like, duh, girl, you
Did I say that?
Yeah. Yeah, you're like,
God damn it.
like 2 years of your life is gone. Are you nuts? So I tried to spare this for you. I tried to save you.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help a sister out.
So then of course I got Sid there, and Sid was like, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, since COVID's happened, I have put on, well, and I broke myself. Yeah. So I've put on like about 20 pounds. And the bottom line is just having this conversation, I'm going to go get fitted again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to, I'm like, no, I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't buy a new bra that's too that because of the weight or whatever. And now I'm just thinking, yeah, but you know what? It's worth your health. So just go get the damn larger size. And
right.
then, right. If you go back into who you were before COVID, it's okay.
And that's the thing too, is you do have to, okay, these bras do last longer. I know that.
They do.
I do pay a little bit more, but they last longer. And the fact that I'm not in physical pain, like,
right. And you know what, when you talk about lasting longer, I bought the bra that I'm wearing now, like all the bras that I've been wearing, I bought them in March of 2020. No, January of 2020. Yes. Okay. January of 2020. I am 2 years into these bras, and it's not like they're like once in a while bras. These are everyday bras. Okay. And they're not even fitting me really right now since I put on some weight, which goes into the next thing that we want to talk about, which is the importance of underwear in your 50s. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you can't get away with strings anymore. You can't get away with ill-fitting little pieces of swatch all over you. Mm-hmm. You have to have a good fitting bra. You have to have good fitting underpants. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I'm not just talking Spanx and all that stuff. That's a whole other thing. Mm-hmm. Although it's, so for me, Spanx, I like the smoothers more than I like something that I'm looking for something to smooth me and not change me. That's what I'm looking for.
I agree. I am like a smoother as well, because that's what I look for when I'm photographing people is I think when the lines are in there, I'd rather have you smooth out. It makes you look a little bit more toned. Smooths out imperfections that you might think you have. Spanx doesn't do anything for me. I just feel like it just distributes the weight. So like, I've got a thick middle. All it's doing is pushing all the excess to the top or to the bottom. It doesn't really.
It doesn't. And something, even my husband, because I've tried to do that stuff. My husband said to me, I can't even remember what the heck I had on, but he's like, you look good or something. I can't remember. And he's like, are you wearing those, whatever I don't remember how he put it, but he was referring to, the Body Shaper. And I said, no. And he goes, well, that's why it looks so good. He said, whenever you put that stuff on, you just look like weird. It just looks weird. Because it's shifting the weight is what it's doing. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's just redistributing it to.
Exactly. So now you look like a sausage, really.
I always feel like a sausage in those things.
Me too.
I can't handle it.
Me too. But the smoother is you, only without the dimples.
Do you remember pantyhose and control top?
Oh, do I remember those people? I think we should file a lawsuit against them. And on top of that, I should have had stock in them, and I want a lawsuit. I swear to God, they single-handedly gave me irritable bowel syndrome.
Irritable bowel syndrome, not to mention yeast infections. And
oh, you're right. Let's file.
Let's file.
Class action.
But I remember being at this wedding and I wore a control top. Pantyhose. And of course, me being short, they still rolled down. And I remember the DJ at the wedding asked me to dance. And of course he picked a song that we would slow dance to. And he had his hands on my waist. And he could feel the rolls.
What a romantic moment.
Yeah, and he just kind of rolled them up for me.
No. Oh my God. Oh.
But he did it in a way, I mean, I was mortified, but he just kind of rolled them up for me and then just kind of patted me on the waist and
Oh my God. That's because, okay, like that's a whole other subject. But when we were younger, guys came in a different, guys were different. Let's just put it that way. Right? Like they had an understanding of underpants that, okay, it's a whole other subject. I'm just saying that they understood these things.
I'm like, that's not good. That's not good. Our families watch. You don't necessarily need, our kids don't need to know our history yet.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Never mind.
Like,
but then on the other hand, there weren't like 7 hooks either.
that's true.
Yeah. But okay. So we've decided that we all agree class action suit on those guys because again, when I think of not just that, but like the inside of your leg too, that would be like, I'm sorry, but that was like chafy and stuff from the pantyhose.
And just the heat. They made you wear it when we were working.
Yes,
like, working.
That's what I was going to tell you. That's what I wanted to say.
Heat entrapment.
They said that it was hygiene. They said it was a hygiene
for
thing.
whom?
Right. And even when we weren't, like when I got my real job, my quote unquote real job in the business world, and I was required to wear a skirt and a certain inch heel, that's true. And pantyhose. And they had to be dark. They had to be like a dark color or a neutral color or some shit. Yes. And between the yeast infections, the chafing, the heat, like you said, God knows what happened down there.
Mm-hmm.
And the pain, I
combustion.
Can't say the gas I had and everything else.
I'm going to tell you what was happening. Combustion.
Wait. And do you know? I would buy a pair of freaking legs. Splurge on the Hanes that you would get like at the department stores.
Mm-hmm.
But I would buy them and literally I'd put them on and get a run after the first time. Like, and they were like $5-6 a pair.
Yes, back then. I remember working at a department store and just stocking up whenever they had a sale because I had my employee discount.
Yes. Yeah. And think that there's pay inequality as well. Mm-hmm. To think that we get paid less on the dollar and we had this upkeep.
Mm-hmm.
You hearing me?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
But see, I lucked out. I have darker skin. So sometimes people didn't know I was not wearing pantyhose.
You cheater. You cheater.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
No, I know. I always had the damn pantyhose on. And I'm telling you, it's actually inhumane. Mm-hmm. And you can't get me to wear them now. I won't.
I think
although my legs get cold.
I was a rule follower until that, but then I would wear the black tights because I know that when I lived in London, I just wore the black cotton tights and those kept me warm. And they were stylish. I wasn't wearing them I wore them under my jeans. I wore them with my Doc Martens.
Yeah.
I wore them with my skirts. But that was a style in London. So everyone did that.
Yeah, but also too, like when you're wearing tights like that, it isn't the same thing. It's not a constriction. That's literally just warmth and there's breathability happening down there. And then there's the whole to wear underpants and not wear underpants. My mom would be like, you can't wear underpants under that with the pantyhose. And now it's a breeding ground for all bad. Like it's just a shame. I want to go out and riot right now. All right, let me go back. Where the heck are we on the roster?
Okay, so we were talking about underwear that we,
Okay, so we know that underwear is a big deal. You want
Mhm.
underwear that isn't going to roll down. You want underwear that is going to be comfortable. You want underwear that might smooth you, not necessarily
Mhm.
shape you, right?
Yes. Yes, just, not create unnecessary lines. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line.
Right. Okay.
And that, and that works for underwear, undergarments, period. That's bras as well. A proper fitting bra won't create any lines.
Right.
So,
Absolutely, including the back fat that everyone's like,
Mhm.
that I never had until like
Mhm.
5 years ago.
Right.
Okay, the extra roll back there.
Mhm.
So, so underwear are important. When you're going through your closet, you want to go through the time warp. Just because you look cute in it in your 20s, it does not mean you're going to look good in it now. And that goes with hair and makeup too. We could go all day.
We can go all day.
We can go all day. And in what I do, I even tell my clients, we have motor programs that we develop, from like these are things. Okay, well, the same is true. So this becomes a habit. So you don't have to think about it anymore. So the same is true with our hair, makeup, and clothing. This
Mhm.
was our formative years. We know it worked. We know the bangs were like exceptional. We know that the electric blue eyeliner was amazeballs.
I didn't, it didn't look good on me. I knew back then it didn't look good on me.
It didn't look good on anybody, but in our minds we did. Like if you go back, I don't think any other decade in history can go back and gag on themselves like the 80s.
Well,
I
no,
mean, we really got screwed.
I think every decade does. I think every decade will look at, you go through that stage where it was like, oh, what were we thinking? Then it was like, oh, that isn't so bad. Then it was, hey, it's back in style. And then it's like, when you look back now in our 50s, you think, oh, those were the best days of our lives.
Okay, but then we look
But
like
I don't
crap.
necessarily want to dress like that anymore.
Well, now I look at it now and I'm thinking, and we had completely transformed ourselves.
Mhm.
People, even now for me, they'll say, wow, I don't even I don't know that people recognize me. My hair was like short, super short, cut and cropped. Okay. Highlighted for ridiculousness. I have no idea why I did it. If it
Mhm.
wasn't orange from the sun in, it was some crazy white streaks that I put in there. And I
Mhm.
wore so much makeup that it wasn't even funny. That was, and then I look back and I go to hate myself. I'm like, ew, what was wrong with me? But there was
Mhm.
many of us walked around like that. The higher the hair, the better. I did like the 90s. I'm sorry, you can't beat Cindy Crawford.
Yes.
That was amazing hair.
Yeah, I think no one would recognize me back from high school or even some college, just because my hair is completely a different color.
Yeah.
I had the straight, long Asian girl hair. Well, I had the bob in high school, but long, straight Asian girl hair in college. And I don't have that hair anymore. Menopause changed my hair. And menopause changed my hair. It's now curly and wavy, sometimes frizzy. And then of course I dye it for my grays. So
What? We have gray. We're
gray.
gray. Okay. So, all right. So, okay. So the time warp, you got to change it, babies. What worked back then doesn't necessarily work now. We just said that. I'm gonna keep this in case I lose 30 pounds. But your body's not going to look the same when you lose 30 pounds. It's just not. It's the
No.
way of the world,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So, boom, you're out of here.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too, is like, what if it's smoking hotter? You know what I mean? What if you lose
Right.
30 pounds? What if it's smoking hot? Because now you have a booty that you didn't have back then in high school, or
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
What if your breast size has changed?
Right.
And there's that other thing too. They're not as firm. So of course they're going to hang. You might have the same breast size, but they hang differently now.
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah.
hanging.
So, oh, they're definitely hanging.
They're hanging. They're chilling with their homies.
Oh
Hanging.
my God. They're competing with your stomach sometimes.
They're competing. Oh my God, don't get me started on that. Okay. things that I never thought. I remember seeing my grandmother, you know, and even my mom at a certain point and being like, that's never going to happen to me because I'm going to work out and I'm going to diet and I'm going to this and I have privy intel that's going to keep me from ever turning into that. No. Okay.
Yeah, your skin just relaxes, dude. I mean,
Totally.
nothing you can do. No workout or anything is going to change that.
Nope.
Elasticity changes.
Not at all. All right. So you want to stick with the version of you that speaks to you. It's your version of you. It's not someone else's version of you. It's not something that you think you should be in. It should speak to you. That's number one. Number two, we already talked about the someday, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And does it serve you? Body's changed. Now, we've talked about all of these things, right? So, okay, you've purged. Now what? How do you find the clothes that speaks to you, that serves you?
Okay.
If you're not Christel King. But Christel King, you start first.
Okay, so what I tell my clients when they come into the studio, like, I mean, and you've come into the studio, you're like, I don't think I could fit that. I don't think I can wear that. Right. Always. And I'm all like, well, let's just try it. Just try it on and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'd say probably 9 times out of 10, it looks amazing. And that information comes like when I do that information comes from, what do you like about yourself? What are your favorite physical attributes? What is your, what do you like about yourself physically? And then I take that into consideration. And then it's those things that they say, what I don't like about myself. And we've talked about this before. It's a preconceived notion. Something you develop that thing about yourself because someone impressionable made a comment.
Yeah. Oh my God. We can touch on that. You hit it on the head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so let's try and look at it in a different perspective. But again, here we go again. We're saying, just address it. You know what I mean? Rip off that Band-Aid.
Right.
Try, step past that fear or that preconceived notion and try it. If it doesn't look good, it doesn't look good. But things like, okay, well, I don't have a waist. Okay, well, let's create a waist. My boobs are too big. So does that mean they're ugly?
Right, exactly. Right.
Mm-hmm. You can still have big boobs and still look classy. You can still look beautiful. You can have a little bit of sex appeal. You know what I mean? And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. But again, it's things that we were told at an impressionable age.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly.
Or by someone that you respect and value and love telling you something that might be their opinion and their translation of something, but not necessarily yours.
Right. And you and I have talked extensively about how that has changed, so when I went to work and you did too, and we went to work in, corporate America, especially, it was, we have to wear neutral colors and you can't wear makeup and your hair has to be short and you have to be, basically a man. We want you to dress as a man with a skirt. And the thing is that when I look at all of it, I really sacrificed, although I have to tell you, because I am one of those people that if you tell me not to do something, I'm probably going to do it. So I do remember getting told, you can't have long hair. Well, that I grew the sucker out, man. Like, no one's telling me. And you can't wear colors and all this other stuff. You can't wear a lot of makeup, which I that totally, I mean, it wasn't the 80s anymore. So we calmed down with that. But we were just looking at that Twitter post, right? Of Sydney Carter.
Right. Coach Sydney Carter.
Sydney Carter.
So basketball coaches, and they were saying how inappropriate she was for wearing leather pink pants and stilettos during breast cancer week. And that
She's a
she
coach, by the way.
Yeah, she's a
So
coach.
like, if you're listening to this, she's not playing. I mean, how many times do you see the coaches on the sidelines, especially in basketball? They're dressed in suits, they're dressed in whatever they wanted to wear. Anyway, go ahead.
Oh no, but she was like, instead of looking at her abilities as a leader, they were criticizing that she was wearing what they thought was inappropriate clothes for a coach. And I thought, that's interesting, because I looked at it and I thought, wow, she is strong, she's sexy, and she's not letting that take over her primary role. I thought she encompassed all of that: femininity, sexiness, leadership, and owned it. You know what I mean? It was just, I thought it was such an empowering look. And I was like, God, I wish I had that type of role model back in the day.
Absolutely. And she was floored at the, according to her tweet, she was floored at the level of response that she had gotten. And it went to a bit of racism, where they felt that it was, targeted, like if and let me go a step further. I don't know about that, but I think it was bodyism. I think that if she didn't have, if she didn't have breasts and hips and a booty, nobody would have said a darn thing.
Right. Because they did show some other coaches, and because I looked into it, and they showed other coaches, different nationalities, wearing a leather skirt and high heels, but not necessarily making any comments about her, or in an uproar with pitchforks with her outfit. Right. I thought that was interesting.
I think it's interesting too. I think it has more to do with just the body. I think that if you have a chest and you have a booty, and that's just, then I think that you are open season. And again, because that's a femininity thing, I think, and I think it's a, I mean, we're still coming off of the whole, you got to be skinny, you got to be a rack, a clothes rack, right?
She was curvy, and I loved it. She owned it, and I just thought it was beautiful, and it just spoke volumes to me. And she did her job to the best of her ability, and I think they won. And so now what she does is she every game, like game 22, and she's like wearing a cute outfit, and just to like not tear down, but just say, you're not going to be the boss of me, and be a naysayer of my style and my wardrobe. And it really doesn't affect her ability as a leader. And it changed the perception too, that women in sports don't necessarily have to be androgynous. Number one.
That's the big key, right?
Yes. And number two is that you can be a leader and a person of power and still and it's okay to be outrageously girly or feminine, or, and silly sexy. But I think for her, there's always going to be that overtone because she is curvy. But so what? Why can't we be a little bit, why can't we own that?
Well, as a curvy person my whole life, I was like 40 by the time I was 12, my body. I can tell you the amount of discrimination that I have faced my whole life with this.
Right.
Everything. And if you're supposed to be taken seriously as a career woman, then you're not allowed to have a body. You have to be basically androgynous. You have to be a man. So you have to be a man in order to be successful, is all that they keep. It is really what it comes down to. And again, this isn't giving anybody shade about what their dress style is, right? Like if you're somebody that actually likes neutral colors, and you're someone that likes more, more of that look, more power to you. There's nothing wrong with that. But to put all of us in the same
category,
yes, it is sexist, and it's body shaming.
Right.
It's absolutely body shaming.
I want to tell you something too. It's like, well, I don't know. I think now, and it's interesting that now that I have, and then we talked about this, like self-acceptance. Sexiness to me is self-acceptance, but it's also a one step further. It's owning it, because you can accept your body, whatever size it is, but to own it and style it and everything, that's a whole new level. That's like,
Right.
yeah, you know what I mean? There's like not a defiance, but there's a confidence that goes with it. And I can tell you now, being what, 30, 35 pounds heavier than I was back in college, I think I get more compliments from men now than I
Right,
do
right.
from high school and college,
You
which is
said
interesting to me.
you said something though that's extremely that I want to come back to, because this is
Mhm.
like really, 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 really big. Of course, now as I'm coming back to it, I've forgotten it, but let me say it. Let me find it. So what you said is when you're this is it. Okay, okay. So owning it and styling it is different than covering it and hiding it.
Mhm.
So when people, well, after we've gained weight, a lot of times what we do is we find clothes to hide the weight that we've gained. Okay.
Mhm.
Camouflage. You hear it all the time. This way we can camouflage. This way, da, 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 da.
Mhm.
Owning it and styling to it, styling for it is a lot different than camouflaging.
Mhm.
And that's where we need to be.
Mhm.
We need to be dressing to style for it and not cover or hide.
Mhm.
You have curves, you got curves. You know,
Mhm.
if you've got great legs, why are you hiding them?
Mhm.
Why? Because you're trying to camouflage and this, that, and the next thing. You've
Mhm.
got legs that aren't twigs, but they might be larger, but they're shapely.
Mhm.
You've got, or if you do have twiggy legs, who gives a
Mhm.
those are
Mhm.
your gorgeous legs. Style for them,
Mhm.
style to them.
Right.
Don't try and cover them and be somebody you're not.
Right. But here's the thing too, is like that one of the things that I've always said is like highlight one thing in your wardrobe. I mean, when you're dressing for that day, highlight one thing. Am I going to show off my legs today? Am I going to show off my cleavage? Am I going to show off my arms?
Right.
But it doesn't, but not all three. You know what I mean? It should always be one. That's like,
I'm sorry, that was funny. I don't know why, but that makes the difference.
it does. It totally
But
does.
but not all three.
Mhm.
I'm showing the boobs, I'm showing the legs, I'm
Yeah. So
showing the
then you're like
arms.
wearing a belt.
And you're right, it's the same thing with makeup. My
Yeah,
eye.
exactly. Yeah, you don't want your eyes and your lips competing with each other. So you're going to show off your eyes, like the eyes wear nude lipstick. If you are going to be wearing red lipstick, just mascara and minimal, maybe eyeliner.
Right.
So you
Balance.
don't look like one flat plane, a little bit of blush, but not emphasizing all of that. So those are, it's the same rule of thumb for wardrobe.
I like it. I like it. All right, we have to wrap this up, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
What do we want to say then to again? So what do we want to say to the person that's like, okay, so you gave really good advice on that. So um you want to play up one thing, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you're dressing and styling to something, not hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right?
And
So
work with what you have, work with your assets. Like I do not, trust me, I do not um have a perfect body by no means, but I can style up um I can style up the cleavage, but not make it overly sexualized. I can style up my legs. My legs are very muscular.
yep.
I don't really have a waist, but so what I do is I do the empire waist. So then this is usually the smallest part of your body, right under your bust. So emphasize that part. That can be construed as a waste sometimes, the way you
Right.
play it.
Right.
So, or, you know, maybe it's just a plain black sheath and you use your hair as the emphasis.
Right.
I mean, use that.
Right. Or jewelry, you know, like maybe it's
Jewelry,
a
my
statement
fave.
necklace.
Mhm.
Yeah. The other thing I want to add too is, you know, look at magazines. What do you like? And again, knowing that you aren't going to, the goal isn't to look like the person in the magazine. The goal is to look at the style that you like. It's not to look like, so make a distinction. And I know that's something I have to, sometimes I look at things and I'm like, do I like the outfit or do I like the way the woman looks in the outfit? Right. Like that's, so I don't really like the outfit. I just think this lady's really pretty and I'd like to look like her. That's different. The other thing too, I was going to say is boutiques. Don't be afraid to shop around. Like you're on Poshmark. You do a great job with Poshmark. Don't be like, this is my size. This is like my big thing. And I'm past that now, right? Because some things I'm in a size 8. And I would have bought an extra large in it or a large in it, thinking because, you know, and here I'm an 8. Other things I'm in an extra large, right? Like, especially some of that other stuff that we've done before. You're like, oh, don't look at the size. I'm like, ah!
Yeah,
so,
I'm like, look at the measurements, you know,
yes,
let's be real here.
yes. Look at the measurements, not the size. The other thing is to look at different styles, things that you know, you can't be in Forever 21 anymore. Well, maybe you are, but don't
For
be
layering
afraid.
pieces. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Forever.
in pieces.
Yeah, I'm not going to be, but I'm not going to buy a crop. I mean, you know, God love you if you can still wear a crop top. I am fucking jealous.
Right.
But that it should only be like maybe 1 or 2 pieces of your wardrobe, not.
Exactly. Exactly. The other thing is I was going to say about the boutiques too. So there's like this really cute boutique Persona. Some people know, and I know there's a bunch in LA. I can't remember. I want to say Wildflowers or something like that, where they're going to carry about 4 to 5 different designers, so to speak. Not just so to speak, but yes. And so, and they're going to layer, they're going to do all kinds of things, and you can see it on the walls and everything. Take notice, pay attention, right? Check some of that out. And also, as far as the sale items, I want to go back and talk about that. There's nothing wrong with a sale item. We all love sale items. I'm just trying to say maybe sometimes it's more economical to purchase something that's not on sale, that's in a color that you're actually going to wear, right? And a size, right? Proper size, proper fit, because you're actually going to get wear out of that. As opposed to, you know, bubblegum pink or, you know, striking yellow that nobody bought because it was the wrong choice. So like in my case, the wantables, yes, it's true. I've spent more money on my wantables. With that said, I've also gotten way more use and wear out of it. So economically speaking, it was better to spend the extra money.
Because you're not
buying, and then only do it once in a while.
Yeah, because you're not buying useless pieces anymore.
Yeah, and I'm not buying them all the time. That's the other thing too. It's
how
not
often
like
do you get that box?
So I'm very splurgy at the moment. So I'm set up at every 3 months.
Every 3? That's not. Splurgy would be like every couple of weeks. Every 3 months, girl, you've got some restraint because.
No, I think every 3 months is kind of excessive.
No, I'll tell you, splurgy. Splurgy would be every couple of weeks or every month.
Okay.
Well, you are beyond. No. Shut up.
Okay. So that's
I don't know where you got every 3 months. You're all stop. Okay.
Okay. And then if you're like, but again, if you're sitting there as a woman and doing what we always do is, I don't deserve it. It's too much, blah, 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 blah. Think about your counterparts. Where's their money going? What are they doing? Right?
So they might not spend it on clothes.
Maybe no, they don't.
Yeah. But they spend it on other things.
They spend it on other things. So it's okay for you to look nice. and feel good in what you're wearing,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Make it a
And
reflection.
then you can do, or you can be like me, Poshmark or Macari, or because I'm a big upcycle secondhand girl. I love it. I don't know what it is. I've done that since I was a kid.
Which is great. And part of it though is because of the confidence you have, not just the confidence, but also you have a good eye for it. And a
Mhm.
lot of people like you have a good eye for it, and you should be you.
Mhm.
Me, not so much. Other than shoes, I got no idea what I'm supposed to look good
All
in,
right.
what I'm supposed to wear.
But okay, and here's the thing, my background in college, I did work for a clothing manufacturer. So I was in the fashion industry for quite some time. So I understand garment construction and body types and so forth. And then segueing into photography, that's all I do is looking at angles and poses to know how to maximize or enhance features. So that's why I have that eye. That is nothing to do with me being a shopaholic.
No. Yeah, we're not encouraging shopaholic. That's not what we're encouraging.
No.
But we are encouraging you to purge the things that not just so to say it no
Don't serve you anymore.
Exactly. It doesn't serve you anymore, but beyond that, but why doesn't it serve you anymore? So it's one thing to say, because that's what when people said that to me, well, it doesn't serve you anymore. I'm like, well, but I don't understand what that means. What it means is it doesn't speak to you. You don't feel comfortable in it. It doesn't express who you are.
Do you enjoy wearing it?
And that includes athletic clothes, by the way. If you don't feel good in your athletic clothes, you're not going to a gym. You're not going to work out. I can tell you.
Right.
Okay. I've been doing this a long time, people. If you got to put on ugly sweats and ugly ill-fitting and it doesn't feel good, you are not going to continue to work out. You're just not.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I remember I would just, and that was another reason why I always felt self-conscious too. Going into a gym, I always felt like people, A, will think that I'm fat, which I was. B, that I didn't have the proper clothes to wear, which would look like I didn't know what I was doing, which is why I was fat, which, you know what I mean? It just started this little vicious cycle. Right. And, and it would really self-sabotage yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and it was like, okay, I got this athletic bra, didn't fit, but it was on sale and it's an athletic bra. You know what I mean? And it would but I looked horrible in it. I looked like a road bump on it didn't separate areas. It's just, no.
Right. It means a lot. And that's a whole other topic we can talk about, because I'm really big on that, about getting up and getting dressed and liking what you see, especially in the mirror if you're at a gym, even if you're home. For me, I find pieces that I can wear when I work out, and then I don't have the luxury sometimes of showering before my next client and this, that, and the next thing. So if I got to run to the store or whatever, I have pieces I can throw over it, and it's completely street accessible, right? Okay, we need to wrap this sucker up. Is there anything else you want to add, Miss Christel King?
No, I think we covered it all. I think when you start accumulating pieces that you feel reflect you, fit you properly, really, even if it is not necessarily in your budget, but within you'll know, you know what I mean? I think women find a way to afford it. Right?
Right. And again, if you're buying a piece that's going to transcend so much, trust me when I tell you, you're saving money in the end.
Yes. Right.
Like I said, these clothes I have from Wannables are going to wear out before I'm done wearing them. Okay, that's it, my friends. This was episode 5, cleaning out the closet. And we will be back with episode 6 next week, to be determined. But you guys would be lovely if you would send us some input in terms of what you are interested in hearing from us. Because believe me, we think about all kinds of stuff.
Or if you have feedback from this episode, we'd love to hear it.
Yes. We love you.
Want to know how we can improve.
Yes, always. Other than paring things down, we keep saying we're going to make shorter episodes, and that's not something we've been able to accomplish, but we're working on it diligently. Okay. Cheers, my friend.
Cheers. Love you.
Love you too. Be safe.